Hey guys, what's going on? It's Powerhouse TGF here, and I'm pretty sure you can think of more than three reasons of why you love the Wano arc in One Piece. But I'm breaking it down to three reasons for you today, and they're going to be packed with a lot of details. First reason why you love the Wano arc in One Piece so much is the lore. Especially with the release of the latest chapter, the lore in One Piece has been insane. First, let's talk about Kaido's backstory and everything that comes with that. We might get a chance to see Rox D. Sebek for the first time. That's the man that the world government tried to erase from history. So it's safe to say that he offers a little bit of importance to the story. God Valley. We got to talk about the battle that was had out there. We got to talk about how Garp teamed up with Roger to take down Sebek. Kaido might have some insight on that. He might have it from his perspective. He might have had a big fight with somebody as well, like a admiral or a vice admiral that we don't know about, who's probably still famous. We gotta understand, okay, what the fuck happened and how the Marines were able to win that battle. Cause I know Roger was involved, but still, just look at the crew that Rox had. Even though they probably wasn't in their prime, they were still heavy hitters at the time. We might get some information on Kaido's reason for choosing the path that he's on. What is Kaido's reason for seeking death? In one panel, he can act one way, and then, when he knocked Ruffy off the rooftop, he was about to cry. There is obviously a reason that he acts this way. And also, we need to know a little bit more about Kaido's race. And the thing is, we might get Kaido's backstory and Yamato's backstory at the same time, so that's going to be even more. We might get history of Kaido and Yamato and who Yamato's mother is, or Kaido and Yamato's interaction as Yamato was growing up. So we also got to talk about Sun God Nika in relation to Luffy, because ever since Who's Who brought it up, a lot of people have been speculating, because Luffy does share his mannerisms and the way he moves. It does share an eerie resemblance to the Sun God Nika. The fact that Oda decided to even write that in the first place means that it's going to be of some sort of importance throughout the story. So I believe it is important that we document it and just kind of go off the story and see what's going to happen. And I'm not going to make too many big assumptions right now, but after the information that we got in chapter 1023 from Queen, conjuring fire is supposedly a weird thing. But like I've said, it's normal to us, so we don't say anything about it because we see it all the time. Apparently, to Queen, that is abnormal. And speaking of conjuring fire, we got to talk about King's race, the Lunarians. Now, that name in itself is starting to raise a lot of questions, because the moon and the multiple moons around the One Piece world plays a big part. Now, there could be a reason that King's race has those wings. Now, if you look at that globe in O'Hara, you see that one moon is very close to the One Piece world. And I think that, King's race could have used those wings to go back and forth to that moon or even other moons. Yeah, I think some of these moons in One Piece exist within the atmosphere of the Earth. So I think King's race maybe had the ability to travel between moons. So that's probably why they called them the Lunarians. And also in chapter 1023, we got more lore on Zoro and what his possible leniency can be, who he's related to, and that was also very interesting. Ryuma is a one-eyed samurai, just like Zoro is. So what is it about one-eyed samurai that has a relation to Wano, and is there a reason for Zoro having one eye? We still haven't gotten any information on how that happened, and nobody even asked Zoro about it. It's just out there. So some people think that Zoro has power, like he's gonna have some kind of Mihawk eye when he opens it. It could just be an injury, and nobody wants to bring it up, but I don't know. And last but not least, we can talk about just the history of Wano and how important that is to the story as well. Even Kaido said, "I'm here because it's Wano." Wano might have some connections to the Ancient Kingdom. It might have some connections to the Void Century. There's been a lot of lore built up within these chapters of Wano. The second reason you love the Wano arc is just the fights. I feel like some of the best fights in One Piece have been in this Wano arc. You don't even gotta talk about the rooftop. Like the rooftop and all those chapters that it covered, especially chapter 10:10 when Luffy, oh my god, all of those chapters was epic. I really feel like when the rooftop gets animated, it's gonna blow the internet away. But I really been digging the hell out of a lot of these Straw Hat fights. I believe like my favorite fight was Jinbei versus Who's Who. Jinbei versus Who's Who had everything that you would probably want in a One Piece fight. There was hockey being used. There was a lot of dialogue going on, and Jinbei just had to be cool about it because Who's Who was talking the most shit and just like going on and on and on and just still talking. And Jinbei was just like, man, look, I ain't here to entertain none of that bullshit you talking about. I'm here to beat your ass. And that was a great fight. We got to see some Roku Shiki, which is always great to see the Six Powers. I really wish they did play a bigger part in the story. Robin versus Black Maria, that was also a great fight because we got to see a nice transformation for Robin. Her sacrificing herself to be more involved with protecting the crew. But now you see she's down and out because, using a lot of energy. I don't know if she was using hockey or not, but it did look like hockey. Speaking of hockey, there's also a lot of hockey being used in these later fights. In the most recent chapter, we seen Queen using hockey versus Sanji. I'm pretty sure Zoro is going to be using some hockey versus King. Speaking of which, the upcoming fights are also very interesting and ones that we need to keep our eye on. We already just covered Sanji and Queen, Zoro and King, but let's talk about Inuarashi and Nekomamushi's fights. Inuarashi is going up against a commander of the Beast Pirates. Nekomamushi going up against a commander of the Big Mom Pirates. These are big fights that a lot of people will be keeping their eye on. Now we got to talk about Luffy and Momo coming back into the picture in their fight with Kaido. How is that going to pan out? We got Killer versus Hawkins that's still going on. We're probably going to see that in the next couple of chapters. Big Mom versus Law and Kid. How is that developing right now? We got to see that here soon. Some more current fights, I believe, is Kaido and Yamato. Raizo Fukurokuchu. We still haven't seen Denjiro in a while. He should be making his way in the picture soon. There have been a lot of good fights that have already happened, a lot of developments in the fights that we have currently. So that's another great reason that you love the Wano arc. Last but not least, the third reason that you love the Wano arc in One Piece is the payoff. The payoff of everything that's been building up throughout this arc. That's including the lore, including the fights. All right. Post Wano is gonna be a scene. We're gonna learn everything about the post reverie, everything that happened at the reverie. We gotta talk about the fate of Sabo and Vivi. What's happened to Sabo? What did he get himself into? Did he die? Did he kill somebody? Is he a prisoner? What's happened to Vivi? What's happened to the Alabasta Kingdom? What has Blackbeard been up to? Because he said he was on the move. He said if the world government's not gonna use it, I am. So it's obviously up to something. You can also talk about Straw Hat bounties post Wano and how that impacts the story. The Straw Hats are going to have a substantial amount of status post Wano when they pull this raid off. Definitely their bounties will be going up. You also talk about who's joining the crew. People have been speculating that Yamato will be joining the crew. I believe she could be a good addition. We're going to need some strength, especially going up against the adversaries that we have coming up next. You could also talk about what the world government has been up to in terms of the ethnic cleansing that they were trying to do. What is their strategy? How are they going to complete it? Who are they going to start with? What exactly the fuck are they talking about? Extinguishing the light? We got to see what that shit is about. And honestly, there's so much more you could cover about the payoff of the Wano arc. Honestly, it's exciting. I just can't wait to see what happens. But those are the three reasons that you love the Wano arc in One Piece. If you agree with anything I said, please leave a comment down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. It really helps a small channel like mine. Peace out.